Since the dawn of humanity, we have stared up at the moon, our silent companion, our closest cosmic neighbor. We believe we understand it, a dead, dusty, pockmarked rock forever bound to our world by gravity. But with every new probe, every declassified image, and every leaked piece of data, a far more terrifying possibility emerges. The moon is not what we think it is. And the reason we stopped going is not because of budgets or lack of interest. It's because we were warned away. On rare, high-resolution images of the moon's far side, images that are almost never shown to the public, we see impossible things. Geometric shadows stretching for miles across crater floors. Unnatural glints of light from peaks that should be in total darkness. NASA has published thousands of stunning photographs, but they all show more of the same, dead, gray desolation. Yet there are entire regions, vast sectors on the permanent dark side, where no probe has ever been sent and which have not been seriously surveyed in decades. What should be the most studied object in our sky remains the most mysterious. The suspicions didn't begin with the space race. As early as the 1960s, professional astronomers cataloged thousands of transient lunar phenomena, sudden, brief flashes of light on the lunar surface that could not be explained by meteor impacts, grid-like patterns of light that would appear and vanish, patches of terrain that seemed to inexplicably change color or reflectivity. Even Soviet probes, in their silent competition with the US, reported bizarre magnetic and gravitational anomalies over specific regions. But very little of this was ever published. Both superpowers, in a rare moment of unspoken agreement, began to treat the moon not as a destination, but as a territory. Someone else's territory. Then came Apollo. The official narrative is one of triumph and exploration, but between the lines of the official reports and on heavily distorted audio logs that have since been scrubbed, the astronauts themselves tell a different story. In hushed, terrified tones, they whisper of things they cannot explain. The famous, chilling phrase, "We're not alone up here," is just the tip of the iceberg. During Apollo 10, astronauts reported hearing a strange, unearthly music or signal coming from the far side, far from any possible source of earthly radio interference. Mission cameras, left to record, captured inexplicable shadows moving across the landscape at impossible speeds. There are persistent, unconfirmed rumors within the aerospace community that at least one mission was ordered to return to Earth ahead of schedule due to the presence of unidentified and potentially hostile activity near the landing site. In the modern era, the evidence has only grown more undeniable. High-definition surveys from China's Chang'e probes and India's Chandrayaan mission have revealed structures that defy any natural explanation. In the shadows of deep polar craters, we see the clean, hard lines of 90-degree angles. We see what look like the symmetrical collapsed blocks of ancient walls. And in several locations, we see impossibly tall, thin spires that rise from the crater floors, casting needle-like shadows that are miles long. This is not the work of erosion or volcanism. This is architecture. And some of these structures appear so ancient, so utterly eroded by micrometeorites, that geologists have suggested they could be far older than the Earth itself, remnants of a cosmic history we have never even imagined. This idea of the moon as an inhabited place is not new. It is in fact one of humanity's oldest memories, buried in our deepest myths. The ancient Sumerians spoke of their gods, the Anunnaki, having a celestial station from which they observed all. The Hindu Vedas describe the god Chandra residing in a shining skyship that never waned. and Native American tribes believed their ancestors ascended to the great white stone in the sky, a place of spirits and watchers. Across dozens of disconnected cultures, the story is the same. The moon is a base, a watchtower, a station, not a natural object, but a piece of ancient, divine engineering. This brings us to the central question. Why does NASA and every other space agency actively avoid the lunar far side? The official excuses are plausible but thin. They claim the lack of direct radio contact makes missions there too risky. But with modern relay satellites, this is a trivial technical problem to solve. They speak of dangerous radiation levels, yet the radiation is inexplicably higher only over one specific, massive sector, a forbidden zone roughly the size of Texas. Even China, which has publicly stated its ambition to build a base on the far side, has repeatedly delayed its plans, citing a lack of safety data. It is not a lack of data they fear. It is the data they already have. A radical, yet disturbingly plausible theory is gaining traction, one that explains everything: the impossible orbit, the anomalous signals, the ancient structures. The moon is not a natural satellite at all. It is an artificial, hollow object, and cosmological masterwork placed in its impossibly perfect orbit, always showing us the same face by a civilization of unimaginable antiquity. The strange flashes are the results of energy discharges. The magnetic anomalies are the signatures of dormant buried technology. And the reason its oldest rocks are more ancient than Earth's is simple. It is not from here. It is a derelict observation station, an ancient ark left here by a precursor race to watch over their grand experiment, the evolution of life on Earth. We have landed on the moon 6 times, but we have barely explored 12% of its surface. The remaining 88%, the side we are never allowed to see, holds a secret that could shatter the very foundations of human history, religion, and our place in the cosmos. While the world space agencies feed us a sanitized narrative of rocks and dust, the real work is happening in secret, analyzing the signals, mapping the structures, and trying to understand what is buried in that forbidden zone. The truth about the moon is being kept from us, not because it is frightening, but because it changes everything.